The theme of this particular reading is about prayer. The apostles and the disciples were bewildered, to say the least. They had just witnessed the ascension of Jesus into heaven, and while they were still looking toward the heavens, two men in white robes, angels, asked them why they were still gazing skyward and not going to Jerusalem to gather in the upper room as Jesus had instructed them to do so. They immediately went to the upper room in Jerusalem, some 120 of them, including all the women and Mary, the mother of Jesus. I believe that they had the first prayer meeting that ended up being quite a lengthy one. It was significant because this was the first time in the scriptures all the apostles had been named together. It was also significant because they were all intimate friends of Jesus, and they were to wait for the coming of the Holy Spirit in the presence of Mary, his mother. Here we see Mary as the spiritual center around which Jesus' intimate friends gather. Mary, who is our own spiritual mother, is one who we also gather around. Like those gathered in the upper room, we too are to gather together to celebrate that important event, Pentecost, the beginning of our Catholic Church. They did not know how powerful this outpouring of the Holy Spirit would be. As these events unfold, we're reminded of the fear that they had of the Jewish authorities. I'm sure they believed that there was safety in their numbers until the coming of the promised Holy Spirit. They were devoting themselves in prayer. They did not know how long they would have to wait. I'm sure there was still anxiety and anticipation about the coming of the Holy Spirit. During Jesus' lifetime, they did not believe he was the Messiah, but his resurrection and ascension must have convinced and convicted them. I'm sure had we been there, it would have been a very powerful experience for us and definitely been instrumental in our own conversion. The question that we need to ask ourselves is this: do I know how significant this celebration of Pentecost is, and how am I preparing my heart to accept the Holy Spirit? Will I be able to allow the Holy Spirit to give me all the gifts that Jesus intended for me to receive? Am I witnessing for Christ, and is my life the living gospel?